Fast forward, you come on our channel, you should sponsor Hous a FunnTV GH political stories and training big big headlines. And a gym need to be Akroma Hous. Any day you have Brazil, and the AD can have stress over to subscribe to the channel. It's on notification bell, share now for friends to answer into me and can be any dim. And you have Brazil political highways in this way hot spot. Me do a realm CC and also who they are any day about all my Ghana. Now, US embassy to Ghana, and I'm not gonna say. Omo ede kokobo etimi ama oman Ghana titru MPP amayiko no say omo nye very careful on kwanya mfaso a omo etoto omo democracy asumdwe Nyankopon de ama wo mo ense say omo dey etoto nakse na emo omo question omo ti omo warning say moye mistake bi dey say eja to Ghana dia hwe no obi anya na dwen say ordinary America obetna oman anase be Libya and now kakope hobisadia. That is up to you. But America there never. Enti asumdua Nyankopon de ama oman no US embassy to Ghana say yenhwe ne mo ho ban ne yente so abapa na no me be ekoso oman mu say a trigger na say ekofa issues bi ba manu susumina so kumbi ni basabasa yubi na wo say we Ghana ni o ko visa and you be a diplomatic person or ko visa there at that point in time you be denied. At that point in time you be denied because ono wa koso tremu ni jana show tinya wa you say wona we dey no ma offer se fobi because you have the capacity so so much money pa odomoko America never when is mahrobia ekoso Kevin Taylor so ajemra ono so ye nsem no prince mu e ho behia se e bobo wura na so ye ne hwene yako ani de ba shene so am say I'll say FunnTV GH that's so ajemra
US government America mo na mote Ghana mo ka say if your man come to Ghana no and America for the letter bremu. The American government through the US embassy Ghana omo de krata bia beto abonte na krata ni mo den me be kinkan krata na ma kire eyeso amefo the US embassy in the history of the Republic of Ghana e bin sida and the American government the krata bre Ghana for se monjina monkenkan asema ye ka kire mu ni e bin sida. It is only under the leadership of Akufo-Addo e bin sida, and this letter should tell you Ghanaian now we say the whole world, they have been watching us, especially the United States. The intelligence the US government, Ghana, no, counterpart does not have. So when they write a letter to give to Ghanaians and say, hey, you people, the democracy that you have protected, democracy that Kwame Nkrumah mo fighting for, John Mahama mo Atamils mo nyina be fighting for, no, it is on the brink. Democracy is hanging on a thin line. And they are worried because they don't want to look. They don't just want to sit back and watch. They are seeing that there are some people in Ghana who are basically not ready to protect your democracy. They are worried for you. Because in the US, so many problems, more problems, and so I'm going to because now US, don't they have problems? They have problems, but you fools come to them for money. So it means if they have a problem, your problem is bigger than theirs because they can solve their problem. How about you? For Jimmy, what the US government is telling you. Moment can let no.
And the omission of Oxford University.
I don't want to be petty at all about this. Addo is a distinguished lawyer in this country. He went to Oxford, did not complete Oxford. If you don't have a certificate in a place, you don't add it.
Oxford University.
I don't want to be petty at all about this. Addo is a distinguished lawyer in this country. He went to Oxford, did not complete Oxford. If you don't have a certificate in a place, you don't add it.
Oxford University.
I don't want to be petty at all about this. Addo is a distinguished lawyer in this country. He went to Oxford, did not complete Oxford. If you don't have a certificate in a place, you don't add it.
Look. All right, so Mama Yang this US embassy for letter no. The whole Ghana enya de obi abekan letter ni nyina adwudwam hankwa and a very serious letter. I was saying you're taking it serious. And I believe that the American government, they like Ghana so much because so what's the deal? We have so many US embassies around Africa. But for them to take their time to say, we need to advise you people on this. We need to send this caution. This letter is not a warning, it's a caution. And when it's caution, you can take it. And when you take that caution very well, it can help you avoid any disaster ahead of you. So they are not threatening Ghana. They are cautioning Ghanaians. They are nicely letting us understand that our country, not everybody in Ghana, people with power or without power, likes to see us move forward as a nation with our democracy intact. So this letter, it concerns you. It should tell you something. In the history of Ghana, Bibi Sansida, and when we see things like this, or see because I can tell you in authority, the US government, they have more intelligence than the Ghana government, or Ghana, and it's a fact. The omnimo assassin, how they take their time to analyze yene assassin. We don't have that time because yene pajamas and the air model. We don't have the time. So they have been our partners for a long time. In fact, Upekura, Omabua Ghana financially for years. The US has been there for Ghana. Majority of our funds, our money, China, the US have been our bedrock from day one until China came in with this illegal money. So we need to understand the United States, they have been there for us for years and they are still there for us. They protect us home and away, and they have been close to Ghana, and we have formed this alliance with them. They would love us to have good democracy, good country, protect this nation. They will also want to keep their country intact so that we can all do business together as two countries. So there's nothing bad about what they are doing. They are trying to let you know that the little they have done, this is what they have seen. Into more swamino, more Ghana no muntie mamindjum. Let na US for Ediabano eni egigim. And another Dan Kwekufuado also a lawyer. John Dramani Mahama on call law school or the president for 4 years, 3 months. US government did not see the need to write a letter on election day or a week or 40 days to elections. The US government, no superpower wrote a letter to us because there was nothing like we have a president who is unpredictable. There was nothing like we have a government that is unpredictable. There was nothing like we have a government that can kill its own people and laugh. Now we have gotten to that point where the US, the Europeans will be following suit. They have done their checks and they know that we are living with people. In fact, people we are giving power to who are dangerous to this country. Now, omeletano etiripono enie. Visa restriction policy on undermining democracy in Ghana. US for embassy of Ghana through the State Department. Omatro letter abre Ghana say, almost say visa. Omo de tabono ebeto nipekuo biswa. Eni say momo visa momo free Ghana e free say. Omo ni say sa nipekuo fo no. Omo no ya nhwe ni ye a omo be say kebi mami kebi no mo dwane. For now omo ma edin bia. Omo se omo de emrabi to hwa nipakuo bi a omo Ghana omo hwe omo a omo bo mu tirim pose ye kebi mami kebi no omo be se no obi ani wa oba be fa abeji visa abewurem akọ US omo se omo ni da fom asem we eti porokwa o se ma we yem hyehyew na ye den that means say omo ka kiro kasa kwam se ye wo nipa bi a omo aban mu omo Ghana omo tumi a omo amadwene se omo be se mo man no we nya grow we eye gigim be so to my people oya boa now mami gigim mami kan krata no na eye Ghana ye nyina ye hu US for chro brofo no so be steady brofo no plain and straight think away statement way if the Ghana government when back I want to be kind and the Article 17 of the Constitution has declared and the shall straight that be where US for ti brofo no emu da ho teacher kofi mu nyina ati ase. The United States and press statement Anthony J. Blinken, Secretary of State, on the letter we buy on an insashasye. Your friend Anthony J. Blinken, Secretary of State, October 28, 2028, on an insashasye. Intenya letter wa That's what US Department of State. US Department of State. Enye letawa. Sa colorway a wuni sana enye obi na wobi omo special paint bi no ma mix omo nya colorway unta nya ne sa keke. Omo tena ho e na omo di we abrɛ. Now, omo say the United States is committed me benya bote dwudwam men rational ye wie ne apon. The United States is committed to supporting and advancing democracy in Ghana and around the world. Omo say US United States omo de ade do makoma so say kebi ma min kebia de ebo nkuro ho ban ebo nipa ho ban wo wiase afa na nyina no ade a eda makoma so ye dwudwam. The Department of State is announcing a new visa restriction policy today that will restrict US visas for any individual responsible for undermining democracy in Ghana. Almost say ende omudi tudwa ama Ghana fo nyina ye president obia atiase se US ekuro ene aban no almost say omudi embra bi to ha nipakuo bi a omabo mutirimu po se kebi ma min kebi wo Ghana omobetiem ase no ama Ghana kuro no abo during this election no sa nipakuo no omudi embra bi to se sa nipakuo no enya ade a omobema omukwan ema obeji visa abewura US omobetena Ghana enya de omobe pene ema saa mu nipa no efri Ghana aba US. Now, omoko minimum say this policy will take effect in advance of Ghana's presidential and parliamentary elections scheduled to take place December 7, 2024. Omze sambra we omode ahye no omode ato ofitine ya kopelsi ebeto aba ne ato aba kora wie nti anya se debi mra omso mo hye ne from enne nipa kuobi omo Ghana ewo tumi ewo abanmu ewo tumi a omo tumi ti Ghana ehyehyɛ mra ma nyoma bemu no omo se enne omo de mra eto ho se o tumi wo Ghana na wa wadwene se Ghana kebi ma min kebi no o pese odi kotikwan bi sei no omo ayo omo hwehwemu ayo omo research omo wo intel omo nya ready so omo be share ba omo di nka abo obi akokɔ nipa kuobi omo Ghana omo wo tumi omo abaje so omo be sei Ghana tumi ni betuma free easy 2 minutes between free Jubilee House, 2 minutes between free Finance Ministry, 2 minutes between free National Security, 2 minutes between free the Ghana Army, a between free the Ghana Police, a between free anybody who has power or say, Oma yomo juma ayomo dia investigations who say nipa bia yoma dwene. Na omo catch Ghana for some de mbrabia to 15 ne. E kopem se beto aba na to aba na wie. Sa nipa ko bia obeye no ho ke obie ni wo free Ghana ye nyire bet.
Mama Okwaba Embrace no used to be Medaxi so I am writing our say how I FunnTV GH Polska stores at when quiz make headlines and a jemre na edibi exumo e wax any de mia humbrasimo ye mongra yin semo beam na a Kevin Cocktail and a manoka say what not say and open sentence a crata a US embassy to Ghana it me a issue ye whatever guys to basa ya koso maimu na kokobo ena wote eye omane mu mpanyimfo se omonye very careful se sumbia nyagopon de awan no yenhwe na yemo ho ban na efri yansa de a wo ye wadwen se woni obabi wo fa se bi edi money e kire eye America man num dia ene ye tumi krata mo de be mam se vixa a obetimi akobo ho adwa e wo America man num ene ye ombedi na anya aksem koto akra we ni sema hodo pia ye Kevin Taylor attraction o ye mu impense mu hu be hia se ye mu nra o mu aso ye ne ye hwe ne ye ko ene ye ba hye no so se ahase e ye FunnTV GH
trim manahye yan to aso na menjudwam team, are you still with me now? Yan ko enim US for no ejudwam ma menjudwam. This visa restriction policy would apply only to specific individuals who undermine democracy and is not directed at Ghanaian people nor the government of Ghana. When you find a diplomatic statement, almost say Sam Rana Omashano, a mrebia sebio apply to Nipakubi. Almost say Sam Rano, a mrebia apply only. This policy would apply only to specific individuals. Or see. Sa mbra we omashe na omde ato na omo se omde bedi dwuma no nipa kuo bi pa na fa omo ho na sebio enye Ghana mine nkoa ene sebio Ghana fo nkoa na form ho. It means so ka kire say Saudi boni wo Ghana, o say Ghana for kebia untumi ko Togo because a homo US embassy wo enko fa onko US. Untumi ko Benin, enko embassy wo onko kase okwaji visa ako US. Untumi ko Ivory Coast. Untumi ko in fact the Sub-Saharan Africa ha US embassy wo so okwaji visa ako America. Into am say sa emra we no nipa ku bi na mo show mo pa wo Ghana na ensanya Ghana for nko a etrem. That means our borders, baby, our US embassy borders war, your borders are US embassy war nyina eka ho. Into to me say, oh, say Ghana democracy during the election, after the election, and then go to Togo and go seek for visa and fly to the US, or go to Ivory Coast, go to Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, or go to like no. Almost say enye Ghana nkoa, trim restriction no e cover. The peripheries no esopa. Yenjujum. Almost say Ghana has achieved 3 decades of democratic elections and the peaceful transfer of power between parties, a record to be proud of and a model to cherish. Hey, bro, for na mebe chiro no. Say broni kan sem we ya na otwe wadwini esibibi so. O see Ghana kebi mamin kebi no eba eye kebi mamin kebi a yenya kebi mamin kebi asesa aban beye emfie duasa. Na omo ni say Ghana eye kebi mamin kebi ya somwa besim pempenswe yi o kan wasam obeso kire wo say from Kwame J.J. Rawlings time ye to aba bedru ende no ye nya emre bia ye beto aba nipa bia o madwene so mo be say democracy no na emum de ende de mo democracy ni ambo ho ban a from ende no ye nya democracy ni biom enti sa kasa we sa wo kiro statement ema a diplomatic statement that these are the kind of language you use. And it's a menya would say Jubachro. In Tomo Kaya Bakwasem, some one time when you show chi. Da bain a bain biba swa, yenny US, yachole tampo, abakas asem webida. Send a bain baso, mwenya, kebimami kebia besiha, empempenso way. It means to say, from your past, no, it has been good. But we are telling you, say, now it is not safe. Make sure, brofo. Make sure comprehension. Make sure how to understand. So obi show diplomatic statement. And I make sure we know. I'm say the United States readiness, a record to be proud of and a model to cherish. The United States readiness to impose visa restrictions if circumstances warrant is an example of our support for the aspiration of all Ghanaians for a peaceful, transparent, and credible electoral process that reflects the will of the people. Brofu, very important. I say, at the Kudientia, US, Edisamra, we better want to say, Omo pesa omo bo ye kebi mamin kebi ho ban during election way, send ye be connect elections no, and a sebio emu beda ho fine, and a sebio a ye process no, obi enchi obi mbu obi, emu beda ho krojin, send a beya edian asumdwe beba, send a beya nipa omo Ghana no, de omo pe, and the besi, tie, omo say. And could enter moto no emra we beto no nyina ne say omo pese ye to aba and the will of the people should be what will prevail. It almost say when the will of the people do not or does not prevail, there's a problem. In this nipa bi wa aban mu nipa bi di manim no ma adwene say the majority of the people no say omo pe John Mahama omo pe NDC na say nipa bi wa aban mu nipa bi wa EC nipa bi wa national security nipa bi wa military nipa bi wa Jubilee House no omo say omo otumi omo so omo tie ma US foreign culture omo say that will not be accepted because the will of the people is the will of God. Into the yen nipa ne panel and it's no say I will say election no emu ye korogin. Yeah. Obanyansafo yebuni be oka ne nkrema o se oba kemi ekemi be kese obanyansafo yebuni be yenka nasem oba kemi ekemi be yanto aso nkrafo dem ka monka obukwa asem firi so now okwa asia wa second paragraph ye dwudwam unye bi obebia eya hankoa na obenya we enti dem ka nyo se show no de ehia enitina Ghana mpenifo ne nkwara ne mpenifo obi ahwe yenya time ne dwudwam. Now, the second paragraph says this. All right, Mr. P. Mr. S, good. The visa restriction policy is pursuant to Section 212A, 3C of the Immigration and Nationality Act and allows the Department of State to implement visa restrictions for individuals believed to be responsible for or complicit in undermining democracy in Ghana, including through the manipulation, including Mame Fanny Biona Hanede, I know say inkukum, Mame Fanny Biom. I do when I'm who is a boss and who rough. I know for the people, I'm going to say, Brandy Champomo, who rough. The visa restriction policy is pursuant to Section 212A, 3C of the Immigration and Nationality Act and allows the Department of State to implement visa restrictions for individuals believed to be responsible for or complicit in undermining democracy in Ghana, including through the manipulation or rigging of the electoral process, the use of violence to intimidate, coerce, or prevent people from exercising their rights to freedom of association and peaceful assembly, the use of measures designed to intimidate, coerce, or prevent political parties, representatives, voters, or members of civil society or the media from voicing or disseminating their views or engaging in any other activity designed to improperly influence the conduct or outcome of an assembly ever de assembly nyina na ha na show assembly na make US for nsem yesi broni obema aduane ayeda cheese no de hye mfimfin ene na nkranfo kan over bemi broninyo cheese ebomi osi aduane broni bema aduane ayeda o de cheese de hye mfimfin akosi broni fe efu de komi edo bomi no cheese I just say broni se aduane be da o de cheese de hye mfimfin o be o de cheese na be hye cheese na ha na hye osi mo de munim de eba MPP nka munja aba no na monka se Ghana for ye nyina ye se pe NDC mom ye nko yenim munim de asi abrofo na se mom ka nyina nse emra emom ho kwan na samra no ye fe no eye de eye restriction policy, the visa restriction policy no omo frɛ no Section 212A 3C of the Immigration and Nationality Act o se emom ho kwan se nipa bia wa na adwene se aba ye beto no Ghana ye be bobo aba obesesa aba no ye beto aba obetata nipa ye beto aba obe prevent nipa from se omoto aba ye beto aba obefa koti kwan bi so ahye nipa bi so ye beto aba omo a omo ehom brasa omo ka aba no ho asem se ye beka omo kasabo ahye omo eyem omo asebio omo pese omo kire omo adwene a ye beka omo adwene ahye omo tirim omo a ye betata omo a ye betwituo abo omo tuo omo a omo ti omo kurase a ye di police fo bekwa gina omo so omo wo kwan se omo hwe aba no se emuda ho a ye beka se omo ntena fie e de etuo betata omo sebio Ghana fo a nipa bi be omo adwen se omo dada omo momagye eye emraboni bi atum ababoni bi atum US fo aban se nipa bi a wo Ghana obebo no hu musuo and the US no e kire sa nipa no oni US no eko omo se omo mpene ne omo mpene china omo mpese de see 2020 the BBC wo Ghana if you say whether you like it or not US omo property wo Ghana upeu omo ewe japade wo Ghana 2020 de ko no mu huye they saw the news, they investigated it, they know what happened omo say so why wa adwene mpo wa bo wutiri mu po say o pese wudi bone o pese o kan nipa bi kasa bo ahye omyem o tata nipa bi even civil societies on pese o kasa and say Franklin Kujomo o pese o tata omo et say eye de asepa mo et say omo itu omo wesi o be kan okre et say eye de nipa bi a omo kan okre Ghana fo be pese o mkoto aba wa be gina omo say omo ntu ni sei nipa bi a odi tuwa ko gina omo so ubotuo o hwe nsuogu nipa so wo isia o dane aba electoral commissioner wakoji sika o dane aba omo say musio kaun na so muso mu osi emusi ewiase enya wode the United States is the biggest, the most powerful nation on this planet, and I say it with all the joy. The US has its own problems, but the US is not selfish. As much as they have their own problems, They are still looking out for people. And people like Ghana, a country like Ghana, the US is not selfish to ignore Ghana for Ghana to go through this kind of tyranny. They are not saying by force, to Abako say, they are just telling people who will be leading this election that do the right thing. The will of the people is the most important thing. Into the US as a country is looking, is watching. And I mean, before the United States of America ever release a letter saying, no, I had investigations in Nipo be winning elections. No, I had research in Nipo be winning elections. No, I had research in Bebia, Nipebia form Hydros on Mukunipa. No, I had investigations in Nipebia one national security on some deep money. Why had investigations in our communications or telephone cover or BBA. But Bibinti and a sofo a preachy. Na Obaba na him was sorry dema oyine ni to soro. Until say Bibi Beka Papa and je prede. Into more my imagine say on those people who have these intentions of committing some crazy chaos to win elections. You have been warned. Nobody should come around later and say this was never said. This letter should not be treated lightly. This is a straight caution to protect our democracy. And this is coming from the most powerful nation on the planet. Whether you like it or not, it's your own problem. Abrofo kra echa US visa abaha. Abrofo echa US lottery. It shows how powerful the United States is. It might have its own problems, but you cannot take away their superpower from them. Me say, bro, ni kratini krum epe US lottery eba America. It should tell you something. It has its own problems, but it is big enough to take care of everybody. Obanyansa for ibuni be yen kana sem. Letter no ne kra no de etwatwo no enie. Certain family members of such persons may also be subject to these restrictions. Persons who undermine democracy in Ghana, including in the lead up to, during, and following Ghana's 2024 elections, may be found to be ineligible for visa under this policy. Almost say, Munipa na moya ma adwiri mu pose mo bebo sa abra no mo ma ene mo yire no mo kura no sambra we ekamo obi di se Brian Champon a otumi send tags ekobotuo ye se wo yire ne wo ma wo ba na oti US ano US government ni mebi oti o entiase mu a mabɔ mutiri mu po sa mo be se Ghana na mo se Ghana ene mo nchime na mo yire ne mo mba na betena abrochire e de se osono ma me abeto dan wo New Jersey no. The US government say or catch them say sa emrawe ehamo ene hamo yire ene mo mba. Don't think say wona wudi bone no o yire ne wo mba ba betena America. Nobody ye betinam into peniye a yenye niye so wo peniye a ende ebe mia wo nko awokon obanyansafo yebuni be yen kana sa
enti woni sima horo timi course wo channel no so ma na osese wo jemre wa say that's any so bad yen dia dum edum yen ya yen san hiem ne emfa de chinsi so ensan enso that's it.